Welcome back to a tired episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting, a podcast where me, Jason,
and me, Jennifer,
have a few drinks
and talk shit about our kids.
And then go directly to bed because it is late.
Yes.
Poor Jennifer is a sweetheart and decided to come over and have dinner with us on a Tuesday before Christmas. And then we are going to record this episode and she's going to go home, go to sleep.
Yep. It's Monday, by the way.
It is Monday. Yeah. But you're off tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the Monday before
Christmas
Eve. And I technically have to work, but like since I work with the government and then the government folks are there tomorrow, I'm like, do I really work?
Yeah.
So, all right, for all our listeners, thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Yeah.
No, please follow.
That was a quick episode, was it not?
Please follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Guide to Poor Parenting.
And Twitter, Facebook, TikTok at Poor Parent Pod.
Jennifer, how's your week been?
Tiring.
Yes.
I am ready for Christmas to be over with.
Oh my God.
At work, it's like Christmas threw up. So they still have their Christmas decorations all over the place. And I'm a humbug this year. I didn't get a tree or put any lights up or any of that stuff. I'm debating on wrapping presents tomorrow. But I don't know. I'll watch Scrooged. Maybe I'll get in the mood because that's usually when I do my wrapping as well, watching Scrooged. And then sometimes if I have enough presents, Die Hard. Those are like the two Christmas Eve movies.
Hell yeah.
That I watch when I wrap. So we'll see.
And if for our listeners, if you hear anything in the background, it is the dishwasher going.
Oh yeah.
I started recording. Like normally, I give us like a few seconds of quiet, so that the recording software I use can filter out it can pick out the background noise and filter them out. And then I was like, why is there so much noise? And I'm like, oh, dishwasher's going.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the recording studios of the Poor Parent Pod podcast,
yeah.
Our kitchen, my kitchen. So.
Yep. It's a working podcast area.
It's a working podcast. It's a working kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're talking about your coworkers having their Christmas decorations up, I remember back when I was still on TikTok, I saw, I don't know if it was a comedian or somebody that they were talking about office culture and like the offices that have put the most effort into Christmas shit are usually the most toxic. Like all the stories I get from you and I'm like, eh.
Sounds about right?
Yeah. Because I'm remote, so we don't put any effort in. And then my last job, we put in like very minimal, but it was, we didn't really have a toxic workplace either.
Yeah. Well, we don't like do Christmas parties or anything like that. It's like, they did buy breakfast for everybody the other day, and
that's nice.
Yeah, it was, but it was from Shaggy's, okay. And I like their taco salad thingy I get from them, but
you don't like their breakfast tacos?
Well, I'm just not a breakfast taco person.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not, would have rather have had lunch.
Gotcha.
Than breakfast, but everybody else seemed to enjoy it. And then where my cubicle is right by where the food is, and I smell it, and it just
turns your stomach.
Yeah.
Did I tell you? I didn't tell you. I got my Christmas bonus this year.
Oh, nice.
$50 gift card from
Amazon.
That's
what I got. I got a 50. Well, mine's Visa, so I can use it anywhere.
They had to send out a special email like, "It's not a scam. Please accept it." Well, because there's so much scam shit.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So it's like, I'm sure some people were like, "Beware."
Yeah.
Like, oh,
anytime I get an email that I feel is fishy, I go to my other coworkers and I'm like, "Did y'all get this email?"
Oh yeah.
Did you ask anybody about this email? No. Okay. Fish. And then sometimes it's like, oh, it's not a scam, or phishing. It's a advertisement, so they're annoying, but it's not technically like something you have to report or whatever. But I'm like, I'm not taking no chances. So
I get a ton of shit from like because I work in software, so I get a lot of like, oh, Microsoft, blah 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 blah, expand your capabilities with this add-on or whatever. And I'm like, God damn it, leave me alone. It's like, but I can't spam it because if I do, it's like I do get some important things from Microsoft. So I'm like, oh, God damn it.
Yeah. I'll get something that'll be like, your LinkedIn profile. I was like, I don't have one. Fish.
I have them, but I looked at it the other day, and it's like my profile picture on LinkedIn. I still had hair, and it's from 2006 or 7,
wow.
so it's old. It's like going on 15 years.
Yeah.
Back when I had some hair, it was thinning, but I had some hair.
That's crazy.
I was a young buck.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, just ready for holidays to be over with, and
Amen to that.
had a busy day today, but it went by pretty fast, so that was nice. And then, yeah, that's about it. Ready to see your grandbabies.
Yeah. That's why Jennifer is doing this tonight with me, bless her soul, because my daughter told us she's coming up on Christmas Eve, and Jennifer's off. I was like, oh, we record Christmas Eve. I'm like, no, we'll have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old in the house running amok, and
we never know when they're coming, so we can't really plan anything. So
yeah, and we don't have a dedicated studio space yet.
Yeah.
So Jennifer's a sweetheart. She
Yeah,
had dinner with my husband at I Heart Korea.
Yeah, well, I was, because I messaged you, I'm on my way, and you're like, oh, I'm 2 hours out, and I'm like, oh, shit. It's like, if I go home, I'm not leaving, so I was already driving, so I was like, I just called Zane. I'm like, hey.
Oh, I'm glad you did.
You want dinner? He's like, I just got home. I'm like, I'll just come over and hang out at the fire. And so that's what I did. So, because I know he like always likes to unwind, and then he has to do charting and stuff. So I knew it was going to be a minute, and then he came out. He's like, "What you want?" And I was like, "You know me." And he was like, "Asian." I was like, "Yeah, let's just do something close, so that way we can, be maybe done by the time you got back into town." But
yeah, it worked out perfect because I got back, and then you two pulled up with my food because y'all got me something to go.
Yep.
I ate my 10 bites, put it in the fridge, and perfect.
There you go.
There you go.
How was your week?
It has been minorly stressful. The dumpster fires are lessening in frequency. Got logged on this morning because my coworker was like, "Can you help me with this thing?" And I'm like, "Yes." And then I got past it, and then my boss is like, we're having a dumpster fire. Chris is, sorry, well, I'm not going to miss his last name, but my coworker, who's always deleting shit, he, I guess, wasn't done fixing something, and we were trying to figure out how to help the government customers, and we're like, we were working right up till 11:30, and I was like, I gotta go. I was like, I got hard out because I got to. As soon as I got logged off, I was hoping I would have enough time to take Justin and Leia and the baby to the mall and go get a picture with Santa, go get an ornament, but it didn't work out. So I was like, I'm sorry, guys, but hopefully they'll go tomorrow. And then I had to drive 2 hours to go pick up my Aunt Nancy, and as soon as 30 minutes into the drive, I got a notice on Google Maps that it was a 30-minute delay because of traffic. I was like, motherfucker. So it got me there right at time, and then I pull in, and I'm like, what is this? This doesn't look right. And then I was like, this is the FedEx commercial airport terminal or something like that. I was like, what the fuck is... So I turned around, and I pulled off the side, and I re-Googled B&A, which is the airport code for Nashville, and it kept trying to turn. It's like, just turn around, it's right there. And then I looked at the instructions, and it's like, go to this corporate driveway, walk across the tarmac to your terminal. Like, that is... What? So I had to switch over to Waze, and it got me there, but I was like, this is so dumb.
So dumb, especially with your Aunt Nancy. She ain't walking across no tarmac to...
No. Well, I mean, she couldn't even if she wanted to.
Yeah.
But and then I pull in, and the traffic is so jam-packed at the airport because everybody's flying in. I missed it the first time to get to the arrivals, circled around, missed it again because no one would let me in.
Oh.
And the next time I just parked it. I was like, I'm not moving until someone lets me in. And
Yeah.
someone let me in finally. And then she arrived at 4:04. I didn't get her in the car until 4:40.
Wow.
So, bless her soul, her dementia's getting kind of bad. So she repeated a few stories. And I was like, do you remember? I was like, do you remember my podcast? She's like, I think so. I was like, well, do you remember my co-host Jennifer? She's like, no. Well, you did the podcast. She's like, how would I know her? I was like, you did the podcast with us. She's like, oh, okay. I kind of remember that. So, poor thing. I just can't remember shit anymore. And that's like we had to fly her to Nashville because we couldn't fly her to. If we can't do a connecting flight with her anymore because she just would get lost and like poor thing.
I would imagine they have people that would help. Like, you know, when kids fly, they have people that help. I would imagine they would have, you know, people that would help elderly people, but I guess not.
Yeah, I don't know.
It really sucks.
It's sad.
But you know, you were nice enough to drive.
Yeah.
5 hours.
6 after all, but yeah.
Was it 6 overall?
Well, I guess it was more like 5.5, but yeah, it was a long day, and I was pretty tired after I was done.
Yeah.
But we got there, and then Zane and I had gone shopping over the weekend, and Nancy's a big wino, so my mom's like, make sure I get her some bottles of wine, and I picked up 3 bottles while we were grocery shopping, and I had left them here instead of taking them to go when I picked her up. So I had to stop by here before I took her over to Mom's. And Mom was chomping at the bed. She's like, where are y'all? I'm like, I'm coming. I just had to get the wine for the drunk old lady.
Because Nancy needs her wine.
With her hydrocodone.
That's funny. Well, I'm not supposed to be drinking wine on my Xanax, but I do anyways.
Yeah, well, you're not dead yet, so.
No.
Cheers to living on the edge, girl.
There you go.
Speaking of drinking, what are we drinking?
Is it that time, or are we doing a break?
Oh, yeah, we are doing a break. Thank you for reminding me. All right, we'll be back in just a few seconds. And we're back.
We're back, and it took that long for me to get the bottle so I can read it.
Because I didn't put it on the outline. Sorry.
Oh.
It just says introduced cocktail.
Introduced cocktail.
Jennifer has to put on the...
Well, because it's red with really white. So it's Menage a Trois. No, Menage a Trois. Silk.
Yes.
It is a soft red blend. And yeah, I'm not going to try to read that because I cannot. It's a California wine. It's a smooth, seductive red blend that caresses. Oh, good Lord.
Do you need a reader?
You with every sip. That just sounds very sexual.
The whole brand is kind of vaguely sexual.
Anymore, but yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I don't think it caresses me with every sip, but you know.
It's because you're old and jaded.
Yeah, it is smooth.
Yeah, it's really nice. And as part of that, I bought a gift box at Sam's, and this was one of them.
Yep.
So
I like it.
We did the Cabernet last time, I think. Decadence.
This one is a soft red blend.
And then we have just the traditional Menage a Trois for next time.
Next time.
In 2 weeks.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
After the holidays.
We are so low. I apologize to our listeners. We're so low energy. I was going to tell you, though, so before we got on the mics, I was showing Jennifer our listener numbers, and we're actually doing really well this month. We're probably going to we've actually broken month is not even over yet, and we've already broken our record. So by the end of the month, we'll probably be over 500 downloads for the month.
That's cool.
So thank you to all our listeners out there. We really appreciate it.
Definitely, yeah. Y'all just need to start emailing us.
I'm so bad I never log on and check the email, because then whenever emails, I'm going to log on and there'll be like 400 emails. I'm like, motherfucker, sorry.
Well, I try to tell you.
I know.
But that doesn't happen always. So.
Yeah. I was going to tell you, though, I looked at our distribution of where our listeners are coming from. Guess which state has the most? It's not Alabama, surprisingly.
Don't know.
Georgia.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know why our Georgian, I guess our Atlanta listener, who knows? I don't know where y'all are coming from, but we appreciate you.
Definitely.
But yeah, Georgia's in the number one spot at the moment.
Wow.
Alabama's right behind it, and then the third one is Virginia.
Okay.
And I don't get that one either because I like West Virginia. I would kind of understand because I have my best friend Feege lives there, and maybe he tells his friends or something. But Virginia, I don't understand. But Georgia, Virginia, we appreciate you.
We're not saying anything bad about Georgia or Virginia. It just
surprising for some reason.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah. Huh? Hi.
Hi to our listeners in Georgia and Virginia.
There you go.
We appreciate it and we love y'all.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Jennifer, we're doing Reddit posts.
Reddit posts, yes.
You're up first, lady.
And blind reactions from Jennifer because Jason picked some. All right. So we have from the subreddit parenting. Barry Llamas is the name. Kind of like, that's interesting. We'd like to know the background of how you picked your name. Question. Inappropriate language. Where is that line for you?
I picked this one just for you, Jay.
I wonder why, Jason.
I do.
My family is a bunch of smartasses. I cuss like a sailor and I have a dark sense of humor. And for everybody listening, this is me actually reading the story, not actually talking about myself. I feel like I'm very loving. I'm just very crude. Yeah, that wasn't me. For the people who are similar, how much did you tone down the language? I'm torn. On one hand, if my kid wants to call the dog a little shit for eating his cheese stick, that's fine. I find that a lot more acceptable than calling someone fat or stupid, though those are the words I hate. I feel like there's a social pressure not to cuss, but it also doesn't bother me. I don't know how to print a paper off my laptop without calling it an asshole at least 2 times. If someone cuts me off, they're an asshole. What about you? I had to think about the WBU question mark.
So was this a well-chosen
yes.
post for you, Jay?
Yeah, it says, also, I do have a strong opinion about sexual type language /TV that's never used around my child. He knows the name of his parts and the name of female parts. Well. Like,
come on, Jay.
That part, just threw me off completely. I will say, when I was little, my father actually named the dog Little Shit, and I used to call him Little One because I didn't
you were a good girl.
Well, yeah, I guess, I didn't want to get yelled at because I didn't know that I could say it.
Would your dad have yelled at you for cussing?
I don't know, to be honest.
Okay.
I do know I was 12 and I walked inside the house and I didn't know anybody was home, or I was 11, and I hurt my finger really bad and I said fuck really, really loud because that's my favorite cuss word ever. And my mom rounded the corner and she said, "What'd you say?" And I was like, fudge. And she's like, "You didn't say that?" I was like, "No, I didn't say that." And so she just explained to me at that time, like, hey, I know you're going to cuss. You hear it from me and your father. You just do not cuss around grown-ups. Or in, situation where you don't know the people around you. So if you're around your friends and there's no teachers around,
yeah,
whatever, right? But if there's a teacher, don't cuss because that's an adult. And I kind of still follow that rule to this day.
Yeah, that's kind of I match energy when it comes to language.
Yes,
I certainly don't do. I've let a few cuss words at work slip, but not a lot.
Yeah,
because it's not professional, but. I match energy when if I hear even not even people older than me, just
right.
I read the room,
right. And then sometimes some things slip out, and you're just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Oh, and then it's usually, "Oh, don't worry about it," we cuss too, or, whatever the situation is. But it's, and I don't cuss around my mom. Like, if I say hell, I'm like, I'm so sorry, because she doesn't cuss anymore.
Yeah. She cussed like a sailor when you were growing up.
Oh,
right?
definitely.
Yeah.
Especially in the car. And that's where I get that from.
I don't like. We kind of have an inside joke between all of us that it was like about, we kind of make jokes about your cussing all the time, because it's like I tell Khalil, you better watch out, DJ cuss you out or something like that. But I don't really cuss. I'll let slip not an F-bomb, but I'll cuss a little bit around the kids, but not a ton. But I'm always kind of amazed with Wesley, because you've always been pretty open with your cuss words around him. I mean, you don't treat us like normal family.
Yeah.
It's minus your mom. Like, you will, like your sisters or whatever, you'll cuss in front of them, right? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like I bring it down.
Yeah. But I mean, you do cuss in front of your, like,
yeah.
You treat us like your other friends, and you cuss around us, including the kids. That's fine. I'm kind of amazed that Wesley isn't just like dropping F-bombs and cussing you out constantly.
Yeah. And I tried not to cuss too much around him when I first got him, because it was kind of the same way like with my brother. Mm-hmm. I didn't cuss around him. I would always say sugar pie honey bunch when I wanted to say shit. Mm-hmm. And he just thought that was the cutest thing and would giggle at it when he was little. But when he turned 13, we took him to Six Flags, and I'm like, oh, you're going to hear some adult words from your big sister, so just be forewarned. Because roller coasters are, I'm screaming fuck, shit, damn, every other word, just because it's just what I do. And I wanted to forewarn him. And Wesley, I think I started cussing around him a little bit more around 12. Now, if he's around us when we're all talking and there's cuss words, it's different. But Patrick didn't have that, where it's the family, the adults cussing around the kids, not at the kids kind of thing, But yeah. Now, do you have a strong opinion about sexual type language TV? They say, that's never used around my child. He knows the name of his parts and the name of female parts. I don't really think I say dick or pussy or... I mean, it's not like I don't care, but I'm like...
Yeah, you don't use those words.
I mean,
Well, they don't come in conversation either.
Not really. I mean, I like the word cunt.
That's my favorite cuss word.
I like to say cunt, but that's not like me talking about a female body part either,
Yeah.
So it's different. So, but I'm not like, that's your dick, or that's your, pussy. So I'm that part kind of confuses me on the question.
I'm always kind of tickled when I see parents like, I'm very protective of my kids when it comes to sexual stuff. I'm like, and yet parents will let their kids watch super violent things, and it's like, almost everybody on this planet is going to have sex. Not a lot of people on this planet are going to engage in violence.
Right.
Like, I can count on one hand the number of fights I've gotten in.
Right.
But the amount of sex I had is like, way more than that. I don't know. Like, when it comes to sex stuff, like, Khalil will ask a question. I'm like, do you really want to know? Because I will answer her in graphic detail. Because I want her to, like, I don't want her to feel like it's gross or shameful.
Right.
But I also want her to understand what's going on.
Right.
Especially when she, like, makes jokes or something like that. It's
right.
Like, I'm not mad at you. I want you to understand what's being said.
Yes.
So you're not, unawares.
And saying it in parts, in places that you're not supposed to say, my anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun. We had to explain that to her. But the words, I mean, there's so many different words for, especially male private parts.
Yeah.
I mean, It's just so crazy how how many there are, and they're not even all, like, in my opinion, curse words. It's just Willie, Peter, Peter Pecker. You know, I'm like, so I mean, you call it whatever you want to call it. I don't talk. You know, if I am gonna talk to him about, because he
refers to it as it a lot of times, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Down there. I'm like, what, your penis? Like, but I'm not going to say your dick, you know.
Your cock.
You know, Franken beans, like, what, you know, where, you know.
Berries.
Yeah, you know, like, whatever. But yeah. Cussing, I'm a sailor. He hears it in the car. I mean, I think he probably hears more in the music he listens to than...
Yeah.
You know,
with Kalia, I've told her in the past that, like, I know you're cussing with your friends. That's fine. I don't care. Just please don't cuss around me. I try not to cuss around you. I'll let one slip every now and then, but I try not to. Don't ever cuss in front of your grandmother or anybody like for her great grandparents. But I was like, you know, don't cussing grandma, nana, gammy, or papa.
Adults.
I mean, like, I don't know if she gets a bit older and she says ass in front of me, I don't think I'll care that much.
Yeah.
But, you know...
But she's 11, so right now she's like...
Well, you know, Judith, she lets her son cuss pretty regularly. She's like, don't ever use it as an insult.
Yeah.
Don't call someone a dick, a cunt, whatever.
Right.
You can say fuck it. You know, if you're talking about something inanimate or you're using it as a... what is it?
An adjective.
An emphasizer for what you're trying to do.
Right.
That's fine.
Just don't make fun of people or definitely. Don't call them a motherfucker, you know, that sort of thing.
I don't know. I remember one time it was early on when Zay and I were dating, and we were having breakfast with his mom, his sister, and the kids, and I was trying to brag about Zane. I was like, you'll be so proud of this motherfucker. And they were like, oh, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't know where that came from. I got a little too comfortable with y'all.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah,
because I don't really cuss in front of Sandra that much either.
Yeah,
but I was like, where did that come from?
Yeah,
I would never have done. I don't know why that slipped out, but
yeah, I had a conversation with me, mom, and pops were talking the other day, and Patrick couldn't do TR when he was little. He couldn't put TR together, okay. So it was a fire fuck instead of fire truck. Yeah. Now we never said fuck because, you know, I don't cuss around my parents, but Pops actually reminded me that my Uncle Peter, when they visited from Germany, just thought it was the funniest thing. It would always be like, hey, Patrick, what's that? You know, and just be like giggling because he just wasn't it was just, right. Yeah. I mean, you try to teach your baby how to say bitch. So, I mean, you know, everybody does things differently, you know. You do you. And then if the kids get in trouble, the kids get in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's one thing I was like, just trust your gut. Don't agonize over it too much.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Like, my little brothers cussed around their mom all the time, and they're fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's whatever. Yeah. It's just something you learn. So,
definitely.
Whatever.
But, I mean, I kept what my mom said to heart, because I am a good girl.
I'm a good girl, I am.
With a very nasty fucking mouth.
That's why I love you.
I know, I love you too.
All right, so my turn. All right, so this is from the parenting subreddit. Username is SpookyBroom00. This must be like generated names or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, well. Anyway, all right, so the title of the post is Kids Opened Christmas Presents Early. Apparently the kids were between 4 and 9.
Okay.
So my 8 and 5-year-old decided to open theirs and everyone else's Christmas presents very early this morning while we were sleeping. I don't just mean open them and snuck a peek either. They opened a couple, unboxed them, and played with them. Both of them denied doing it while hiding a smile and showed no remorse for doing it. This year has been really rough financially wise, and we can't just afford to replace these with new gifts. Their behavior this year has been awful. They throw temper tantrums when they don't get exactly what they want. They don't listen to anything we say until it gets to the point where we have to raise our voices. They think getting in trouble is funny. I admit this is mostly my fault. I really wanted to gentle parent our children, and in doing so, I apparently parented a little too hard, where there were no real consequences besides a stern talking to. My husband didn't agree with this type of parenting and thought that it was letting them get away with everything without real repercussions, and he was right. I'm just defeated this morning and don't know how to handle the situation. There's a couple of edits to the story. Edit 1. When I mentioned replacing these gifts, what I meant was the gifts that weren't theirs. Unfortunately, they opened their siblings' gifts as well, and they saw them. I completely agree with letting them open up the same gifts they ruined for themselves as a consequence. I do appreciate the advice. Second edit is, I should have clarified better about a couple of things. These presents were not under a tree or in plain sight. We always wait till Christmas Eve to put them out while they're asleep. These presents were actually in a closet on a top shelf.
Oh, damn.
So they went looking.
Damn.
That's a baby kid shit.
Yes.
Yeah. We haven't had anything like this happen yet, but I will say I've warned Clea a couple times when we put out, like, we'll put we'll put presents under the tree like a week ahead or two, because I just like, I don't want to keep hiding shit. I want to get it wrapped and put it under the tree.
Right.
But she'll be like, what's under the tree? What's under? And then it gets annoying to the point where, like, if you keep asking, I'm going to remove the presents and put them over at grandma's or somewhere else, because I'm sick of the questions. But I will say I did, as a child, I did peek a couple of times. Mm-hmm. Like, I was really curious about what something was, so I undid the tape on one end and peeked in and then replaced it. But, you know,
that's different.
I didn't open it, and, like, I didn't open everybody's.
Right. Yeah, ooh. That's that, what you said you were gonna do, get empty boxes and start throwing them in the fire pit and burning them if they started acting up.
What do you think? How would you have handled this if Wesley did that?
So 5 and 8, mm-hmm. I probably would have been like, well, you played with your presents. We're gonna go give them to kids that want them. Maybe let them have, I don't know how many, because I think they said that they didn't have a lot of money, so they were kind of tight. Maybe let them have, say there's 5 presents, let them have 2 and give away 3.
Yeah.
And then make them wrap their siblings' presents back up again, because that was not their present to open. Like, make them, like, see how much work goes into what you did.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I like the idea of making them rewrap their siblings, although the siblings saw them, so it's like, what's the point?
But it's principality, especially that whole gentle parenting thing I'm not really familiar with, because I feel like it's just a lot of talking to, and...
That's your favorite thing to do.
I'd rather not talk to my son. But, like, even, the siblings did see it, or, if, depending on how old the siblings are, like, just make them start wrapping, like, empty boxes or something, if it's, to the point where they've already, if they want them.
I think since they ruined it, like, as punishment for ruining their siblings' Christmas present, or Christmas, I'd make them do something for their siblings, like clean their room or something like that.
I don't know if a 5 or 8-year-old would really...
They wouldn't do a great job, but it's the principle of, like, okay, you're going to do this thing you don't want to do for, like, 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Or I'd be like, okay, I was saying the thing of this, like, you're going to rewrap your siblings' presents. Christmas morning, you have to sit in the corner and watch your siblings open their stuff. And if they're not, if there wasn't a lot of gifts or they didn't feel comfortable getting rid of the gifts, I'd be like, okay, you get these in 3 months.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't get anything for Christmas. You get to have them in 3 months because this is unacceptable.
Yeah, something. I mean, depending on how many there are. That's why I was like, depending on how many there are.
Yeah.
Kids that are less fortunate, could so use them more than you if this is how you're going to act by going into some place that you're not supposed to be going into because it wasn't even underneath the Christmas tree.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a completely... I think it would be completely appropriate for them to lose at least one gift permanently.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
All right, which of these was your favorite?
Right.
And then that's the one you lose.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But damn.
yeah. Ooh, that's some baby kid shit.
My gosh, these cheerings.
Now, this one I picked because it reminded me slightly of something you've gone through, so...
Okay, so parenting subreddit, Border Melancholy 09.
Is the user.
Oh, yeah, sorry, is user. Question is, am I wrong to expect my 12-year-old to replace the shoes she ruined on purpose? All right, we bought all the kids new shoes before school started. They were all good shoes, like $70 per pair, so that they'd last. It's been 8 weeks since school started. Yesterday, my 12-year-old went to school and drug her toes on the gym floor until the sole split from the rest of the shoe. Damn, that's some dragging to do that. Mm-hmm. There's a hole in the top of the shoe and scuff marks all over the toes. They were in great condition when she left. I know this because before school I helped her take a knot out of the laces and they still looked great minus being a little dirty. She admitted to dragging her toes because she thought it felt funny and it made kids laugh. We asked why she didn't stop when she realized there was marks on the shoes, and she shrugged. She has about $90 saved up from birthdays and Christmas. She's not saving for anything in particular. I told her she can use her own money to replace the shoes since she intentionally destroyed them, and she said, I'm not wasting my money on shoes. So I said, then I'm not wasting my money either. Grandparents think I'm being too harsh, and I should at least offer to split the cost with her. Dad is in agreement that she can either wear her old shoes or buy a new pair, but that we are not buying her any more shoes for the time being. It's worth noting this is not the first time she's destroyed something she owns just for fun. She ripped up a squishmallow.
Yeah, I think it was a squishy...
Pillows?
Yeah, squishy pillow stuffed toy thingies.
Okay, because she just wanted to. She destroyed a whole container of Tide Pods because she wanted to see what it looked like or sounded like when they popped. And apparently she had to find out 40 times in a row. She's cut shirts into tank tops, cut pants into shorts, cut sweatshirts into crop sweatshirts, and you get the point. She also has ADHD and struggles with impulse control, which is likely why she continues to do these things, but I'm over replacing everything she tears apart just because she felt like being destructive. Am I being too harsh? Would splitting the cost of the new shoes be acceptable? Or should we stick to our guns and make her buy her own shoes? Make her buy her own shoes.
Yeah,
Or make her wear those ruined shoes until you replace all your other kids' shoes.
Completely agree. I think this is a case of grandparents... I wouldn't worry about what your parents are saying about the situation, because I think that is a perfect natural consequence. It's it's a real life situation. You don't have to manufacture a consequence. If she doesn't care, why should you?
And you should also you should also take away the scissors.
Yeah, that may not always be an option though.
But I mean, cutting tank tops, sweatshirts, jeans, like.
But I mean, I understand the thought.
But duct tape them shoes.
Yeah,
she can color on them.
She will learn to be resourceful. I remember you had told me many times about how you really wanted some Nikes, I think. Jordans. And your mom's like, I'll split it with you. And then when you saved up your money, you're like, I don't think I really give a shit.
My first job, she's like, I'll go halvesies. And I didn't destroy shoes or anything like that. I just really, really wanted some Jordans. And then when it got to the point where I could buy them and I had my half, I was like, working at the age of 14 and making $4 an hour or whatever the minimum wage was at the time.
And paying rent.
It took a long ass time to save that money. And I was like, yeah, that's just not worth that shit. And then, here's mom buying her $70 pair of shoes.
I think that is. Don't listen to your parents.
Nope.
That is the perfect natural consequence.
Yep.
She will. I mean, a lot of it.
And she might not learn because, if she thinks it's fun. And then never buy her $70 pairs of shoes. And then always just take her to Walmart and get her a $20 pair of shoes. And then...
Or go to the thrift store and get her some used shit.
And then she can just, have fun destroying those. And then duct tape them until it's time to get new shoes. But I don't think, in my opinion, until she can respect her items of clothing, that you just,
why waste your money?
Yeah, and then the whole t-shirt thingy, if that's expensive clothes, thrift store.
Yeah.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Because that's just craziness.
I'm like, some of these questions I'm always like, I don't know. I guess they're getting a lot of parental, like, guilt trips or something from grandparents.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like you and I are similar in the fact that we trust our own guts really well. Like, yeah. I mean, maybe if my mom was like, that's really bad, I'm like, maybe, but I still like, there's nothing that I've ever done that I haven't really trusted my gut on or felt like I did a bad job of. There's something I know I could do better, but I'm like, there's no parenting choice. I've been like, I really don't think I did a bad job.
Right.
I mean, maybe that's not a great thought to have, but I think you and I both pretty confident in our own parenting styles.
I think so. I mean, there's always going to be things that you regret.
Yeah.
Like, I could have handled that this way, but it's not like really, really big things.
Yeah.
It's more of the little, for me, it's the little things,
Yeah.
I could have just done this or that, but Wesley has, he got some white Jordans from Justin, I think?
Yeah, for my son.
And decided one day just to color them.
He went into, he got into my spray paint. And spray painted them.
And that was after the fact, wasn't it? Because we were at therapy.
Oh, maybe it was. Yeah.
And then he tried to spray paint them because he didn't like the way that it was colored, and then got into your spray paint.
Well, I remember Justin, he would get Nike Jordans, and if they got any kind of crease in the toe box, he'd be like, they'd be less than 2 months old, and he'd be fucking mowing the lawn in them.
Yep.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, well, they're ruined now. I'm like, you're a goddamn idiot.
That was always his money, though.
Yeah, that for him, that was definitely... No, there was a few, they were gifts or something for Christmas or birthdays. We never, it was never I'm just going to buy you expensive shoes for the fuck of it. It was like a Christmas or birthday present or something like that. Yeah. But it always drove me insane because it was just like, the toe box. I'm like, fucking gives a shit about the goddamn toe box. Just wear your goddamn
that's
shoes.
A Jordan thing, though. You're not. That's why Wesley in one pair of shoes looks like he shat his pants because he walks without waddles so he doesn't bend his toes.
Oh, that's how Justin walks now. It's ridiculous.
And I'm like, whatever.
Sneakerheads are ridiculous.
Yeah. But that's their thing. I'm not gonna,
Justin, I'm talking shit about you and your sneakers.
And if you can afford it, then you can afford it. What did you do?
Justin just walked past the hallway, and I was like, sorry for all our listeners, I just yelled at Justin, but he was like, he came back around and smiled at me.
That's funny.
Oh, Lord. Okay, the last post we're doing today is from the parenting subreddit. It's Barank. I think that's how you say it. B-U-H. Right? Anyway, it's about 4 months ago. The question is, how old were you when you were allowed to roam your neighborhood by yourself? So the post says, my son is 9 and is ready to start riding his bike around, just around, nowhere in particular. He hasn't made friends in our neighborhood yet, mainly because they don't speak English. I remember being 7 and riding my bike all over the place, but my family seems to think letting him out by himself is absolutely crazy.
I mean, back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day, well...
You didn't come home till the lights came on.
Yeah, I don't... I mean, I don't remember 7, like how the kid was. 7, yeah, I don't remember 7 very well. But
I would have been in Germany, so yeah, well, we lived in a village, so we didn't, I mean, there was nothing. There was a slaughterhouse, there was like a little bitty store in someone's house, there was like no gas stations, it was a village, like it was just where people lived. There was a football field, or for the Americans, soccer field, and just go run amok and ride bikes.
I definitely remember being a kid and roaming around the neighborhood. But I grew up in suburbia in a pretty safe neighborhood. But even like you kind of grew up in a slightly rougher neighborhood. And I remember you telling me about when you came back to the States and you roaming around. Well, but you were like 12 were you when you came back?
12 when I got back to the States, I think. But it was no. My when I was 12, the neighborhood wasn't bad, and my best friends lived just like catty corner, kind of from like we could almost see each other's houses from my parents' houses. But we would go everywhere. Like our elementary school was right there almost across the street from the house. So there's basketball courts. There was woods. We would make trails. Like we would go and rake the leaves between the trees to make trails and very unsafe bike ramps, and
those are the best.
There was a playground. I mean, yeah, we would run amok.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's a little different. My neighborhood where I live now, I did not let Wesley
roam around,
run amok. Here at your neighborhood, he did, because he had a 12-year-old or a kid that was his age just down the street. And he was the only boy out of 5 kids, so Josiah loved that there was another boy in the neighborhood. Yep. But I mean, it really depends on you, like,
and it depends on the situation too.
Yeah, where you live. If you feel comfortable enough, like with them going, because I guess they started going at 9 and 7 maybe for Kalia to walk down to the
Yeah, I remember them riding their bikes, but I remember when they first started going by themselves, I would watch them, watch her go down, but then after, I don't know, I will say, like, in our neighborhood, I feel like if something happened, she was always in visual distance of the house, so I didn't feel too worried about it, and there's not a lot of families in the neighborhood, but there's enough that she's not super adventurous, like she's going to go, oh, let me go run over to like 3 miles away, like I would have when I was a kid.
Me too.
But I don't know. I guess I will say though, I in one aspect, I kind of agree with the grandparents on this, because they said that they are the original poster is the most of the families don't speak English. Yeah. That would make me a little uncomfortable, because if the kid gets in trouble, falls, and they don't feel comfortable or they're scared, what are the non-English speakers going to do? And I'm like, yeah. If I was in a neighborhood with a lot of families with young kids similar age, I wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'd be like, run a fucking muck.
Right.
Because someone's going to be watching.
Play.
Yeah, someone's going to be watching.
Yeah.
But if you're in a neighborhood where you're
the minority
and not speaking the majority language,
yeah,
that would make me kind of nervous.
Yeah. It depends on you.
Yeah.
And if you feel comfortable, go get a bike, ride it with them.
Yeah.
If you don't feel comfortable, and if that's something you did when you were a kid, you can show them. Maybe go, if it's maybe another neighborhood that there are people that speak the language that you speak, maybe you can, ride the bikes over there and then just kind of see how things progress as they get older, to a point when maybe they could go by themselves, that sort of thing. But I mean, there's so many different situations, and nowadays it's a lot different.
I mean, like, if we weren't in a neighborhood where, like, we just moved in, and if we were, like, in a cul-de-sac, I'd probably be like, just stay in the cul-de-sac, roam around. I wouldn't care too much.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the cul-de-sac, and I'm like, fuck, no, don't go outside.
Oh, yeah, your neighborhood's scary, though.
Well, I'm just saying, so you just really...
Okay, in cul-de-sac, we're in the non-scary
neighborhood. There you go. I had to say it. Sorry, you brought up cul-de-sac. That's me.
But yeah, like if I was in Hampton Cove, or if I was in Madison, in one of the nicer Madison neighborhoods, and there was a cul-de-sac, I'd be like, run amok, I don't care.
Well, and then also now, most kids have cell phones. You can track them little motherfuckers wherever they go. So.
Did you hear about that lady that got arrested for letting her 11-year-old walk around without her, or something like that?
Walk around without her?
Like, yeah, I think they had. I'm quoting the story. I'll see if I can Google it. But this woman got arrested for child endangerment, basically, because she let her kid walk, tween or early teen kid walk around a place that would seem like that'd be fine. And I don't know. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But yeah, I was like, here it is from USA Today. Mom arrested after 10-year-old son went to walk alone. A Georgia mom was arrested after her 10-year-old son took a solo walk to a store about a mile from her house in rural Georgia and has vowed to fight the charges in a case that has prompted confusion and criticism from experts and parental rights activists. If I was in rural Georgia, if I was in rural Alabama and my kid said well, maybe not if they were black, but if I had a white kid and they were like, I want to go walk down to the rural country store at 10, I'd be like, okay, just stay off the road.
My thing is, back in the day, that's what kids did.
Yeah.
Mama wrote out a list: cigarettes, beer, milk, bread. Go send the kid. The kid brings everything back. I mean, like things that you're not supposed to have a 10-year-old have, but they all knew everybody, so that is so weird.
And they won't drop the charges unless she installs a GPS tracker on the kid, on the phone, the kid's phone or something like that. I was like, that is such a weird overreach. I don't know. Times are weird. Like, I remember when we were, so my old neighborhood here in Huntsville, my house backed up to a public park. Not a public, it was a neighborhood park. And I could see the playground from my backyard. You had to walk on the sidewalk around the corner. It was about 3 houses away to get to it. But if Kalia was 7, I'd be like, go on, I don't care. In my old neighborhood, I would have let her run around. I would have no problem. I would tell her probably stay off the main drag because the cars can go a little fast there. But right. I'd be like, stay on the sidewalks. I don't really care that much because my old neighborhood was, frankly, it was a bigger and slightly had a lot more families in it. Yeah. But yeah.
And I mean, you can watch her from the backyard.
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Oh.
Times are changing.
But
and it's inconsistent too.
It very much. That's my thing. It's very inconsistent because that should have been every parent back in the day. Seriously. Would have gotten arrested. You know.
Well, and what law are they breaking? Like, can you interpret child endangerment that loosely? That I don't know. It's such
yeah, it's weird.
All right, so this is a good transition spot. So we're gonna take a quick break, Miss Jennifer.
Okay.
And we're back.
We're back. Did you miss us?
I hope y'all did. I hope they were good ads. Hopefully for something like Helix mattress or something. Helix. We love your mattresses. We'd love for you to sponsor us.
I try your mattress. I don't have one of those.
Or Green Chef. We'd love to try that too.
Oh yes.
Or
Green Chef.
Isn't that what it's called? The meal delivery kit service thing?
There's so many different ones, but I don't think it's Green Chef.
What are the ones? Oh, who cares?
How about you contact us? Yeah. And then we'll be able to say the right fucking name.
I'm going to laugh if we get some weird endorsement. Like, depends. They really help me so don't shit my pants.
There you go.
All right. Well, for all our listeners, please help us break 500 this month. We really appreciate it.
That'd be great.
And if you have any funny stories about your kids,
or if you need some bad parenting advice, or if you have any ideas for topics,
please email us at guidetopoorparenting@gmail.com.
Yeah. So I wonder if our Georgia listeners would have something to say about this Georgia case.
Ooh, yeah. If you listen in Georgia, email us about if you know anything about the case.
Yeah, like let us know what you think about it, cause yeah, that's weird. Sorry, I just had to think about. I just thought about that when we were saying all that stuff. All right, so I did one for our cocktail. What is our snacks?
Well, for snack time, Zay and I were walking around Aldi's, and I got, for last episode, I got some Stroop waffles, and this one, they had some sort of like holiday snacky shit end cap thing, and they had a bag of glazed pecans. So, got the is that glazed? Yeah, glazed pecans from Aldi's.
I mean, you have the bag right there.
Yeah, I don't know. It just says glazed pecans, crunchy sweetened pecans.
I mean, I love me some Aldi's.
Yeah, I do too.
And I love that anytime I'll see an Aldi's somewhere else, like I recently went to Gadsden and I was like, there's an Aldi's. My mom was like, where? I was like, right over there.
They actually have.
I grew up with Aldi's, so Aldi's is German, so.
So Aldi's West and Aldi's East.
So yeah, all right.
All right.
Snack time, and now story time. It's your story.
It is my story. I actually had one, and I'm going to take it out because something happened so funny last night. I want to talk about it. So yesterday was Sunday, and Jennifer and Wesley usually join it, or we are pretty good for the last 5 years almost. We've been doing Sunday dinners, and y'all come over for dinner on Sundays. Mm-hmm. And we were eating. Were you here for this? Do you remember what I'm talking about? I'll say it, and I'll see if you remember. So we were eating.
Did I eat with you on Sunday?
Yes, we had the cheesy sausage pasta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, it's all good. Anyway, so Clea was, we were talking, and Clea made some smart comment, and I was like, young lady, you have a sharp tongue. And she looked at me and she was like, is that a lesbian joke?
Oh my God.
We all about pissed our pants laughing.
Oh my
like, why is that funny? I was like, that was just such good timing. I was like, I want you to be a comedian, sweetheart.
I mean, the things she says sometimes. And then you can also see how he parents her, so.
This is very true. So, yeah. So if you have a sharp tongue, you too might be a lesbian.
There you go. Don't know how good you'll be at it.
Oh, Lord. Domestic violence. All right. Well, thanks for all our listeners for listening to another episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on.
And if you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids ask why they didn't get what they asked for Christmas, even though they asked 3 days before Christmas for new presents, and I had already purchased everything they were going to get. Yeah, she did that to me.
A little shit.
I bought I'd give her a goddamn access. I was like, pick out shit on Amazon, give me a shopping list so I can share it with people because it's convenient. And then 3 days before Christmas, she's like, oh, I've got this Christmas list. And I'm like, fucker. Luckily, you still hadn't bought anything, so that was one of the things you bought. But
gotcha.
I was like, God bless, girl. So, yeah.
Yeah, so what we say to that? Tough shit.
Give me your list earlier.
That, and don't unwrap the fucking presents until we tell you to.
Yeah. God damn. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.